Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Women Like Me Stories in Business. I am very excited to talk to this lady today. She's got a lot of things that she does that I really want to hear about, and I know that you're going to want to as well. So let me introduce her to you, and then we'll dive in. So today, I'm excited to welcome Alma Tarelli. I'm sorry, it's an Italian name. I don't know why I'm stumbling over it. A highly effective results mentor, speaker, author, and financial behavior strategist. Alma combines over 23 years of accounting and finance, with experience with working in mindset, emotional healing, and nervous system awareness and transformational coaching. Her work helps high capable women break free from scarcity, burnout, under earning, self doubt, and the hidden patterns that keep them stuck in survival mode. So, today we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about self worth, identity, confidence, abundance, and the powerful truth that financial transformation often begins on the inside. Alma, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to just pronounce your name to everyone so they've got that?
Yes. So my name is Alma Tarelli, and it sounds Italian. I'm Albanian originally, but the last name sounds Italian. So Tarelli.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you for being here. So, before we jump in and talk about money and abundance, can you share a little bit about who you are, the work that you do, and what brought you into finance, mindset, and transformation?
Thank you for having me, Julie. Originally, I am from Albania, as I mentioned. I moved in Canada 25 years ago, and I'm an accountant. I've been an accountant for 23 years. I also worked for the government of Canada, the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency. And I noticed that most of my clients, which they were from different background, from successful to unsuccessful clients, I've noticed that it's not about numbers. People have patterns. I became curious about my work and I could see how people relate with money. And it was about the patterns underneath the money, their behavior and their decision making. 7 years ago, as I mentioned, I started working on myself because even though I was an accountant, it doesn't the accountant I always say chicken tongue that the accountant is like the person that stand by the water. It doesn't necessarily dip itself in the water, himself in the water. So we know about the number tax strategy and so on. It doesn't mean that we go immerse into the money game. Um, so I started this healing, so to speak, for myself. And I noticed that it is the pattern that drive the behavior, is the emotional. Money is not simply money. The physical is energy. It is mindset. It is more in depth. So it's not only about the numbers. And the last 5 years, I've been working one-on-one on mentorship. I mentor women, especially the business women, also men, the entrepreneurs and small business owners, to see what drives their behavior. How can they jump? Is their identity connected with what they do? And it's a fascinating work. It's very rewarding. And it's not rewarding for me when clients say, oh my gosh, how do you know what's going on with me in the business? It's not about that, but it is when I see the numbers. I always
Mm.
check and I say, can you please send me not their taxes. I don't care for the to see their finances, but what translate into their behaviors in regards to the business. So it has been a very rewarding work. I love it, and
Yeah.
I'm growing every single day. I believe I'm working one-on-one right now. September I will start group mentorship, group mentoring and coaching, and it's a wonderful, wonderful work. So I have done it all. I come from a communist country, grew up very poor, and now I'm able to teach what I went through and see all the patterns that people have when it comes to money. So
Yeah.
it's about
That is so interesting. Well, let me ask you, you help a lot of high capable women.
Mhm.
Why do you think so many smart, hardworking women still struggle financially, even when they're doing so much right, or they think it's right?
That's a wonderful question. Many high capable women, they struggle because we have two drivers, the internal driver and the external driver. The internal driver is the way we grew up, the way we operate in this society, which is enormously impacted by the fears. Overgivers, we are overgivers. We constantly look for validation, and so when we are born, this is how we kind of brought into this consciousness, and it's generation after generation that this is created. So these are the internal drivers that are created since childhood, especially the first 7 years of our lives, where our conscious is not operating. It's only the subconscious mind that operates. And so these these drivers, the internal drivers, they drive our decision till we die. So we have the internal drivers and the external drivers. Externally, women, we go to school, highly educated, highly intelligent, and so on. There is a mismatch between the internal driver and external driver. That is the reason why many high capable
Mhm.
women, they do not see results financially, even though they work very hard, because
Yeah.
there are underneath there the patterns. The internal driver is all about overgiving. It's I'm never good enough, fear of visibility, and so on. So
Mm-hmm.
there are seven major patterns that we will discover maybe throughout the conversation, that I'll go one by one, because it is fascinating work, from what I've seen working with hundreds and hundreds of women.
Wow, that is so interesting. So
Mhm.
when women hear the word money, they often think about bills, income, debt, but you talk about identity, safety, and self-worth. So how are those all connected?
They are very connected. So when in general, all of us, when we hear money, we think about the numbers, the bank account and statement. These are a reflection of the internal drive. So the bills, the expenses, the credit cards, the work that you do, the money through business or through regular work. These are the external drivers. The internal drivers, as I mentioned, are what your behaviors and your emotional ties to that. In my course, I ask every single woman to do this exercise. I say, just open all your credit cards, your statement, the financial bank statement, money cash if you have, and just see how you feel. What do you feel? Is it running out? Am I going to have enough? Um, what if something happened? So there are many, many of these unconscious patterns, thinking patterns that determine how you relate with money. So when fear of visibility is one of them, especially for a woman entrepreneur. So it is embedded in us that we are fearful of judgment, what our other people are going to say. So when you match these two, the internal and the external, then you will be able to see the success, because the strategy alone will not guarantee you success. That's my method. I can teach you how to invest in RSP, TFSA, different strategy investments, and so on. If you do not have the capacity to hold, you are not going to keep it. As for myself, I invested quite a bit of money before COVID, and I invested it with the mind that, oh my gosh, what if I lose them? It is a lot of money. And I actually lost them. Okay, it was COVID is an external
Mhm.
environmental factor that you say, well, that affected everyone. It's not true, because lots of people thrived during COVID. And so you check your internal driver. If you're coming from fear with money, it will never be enough. You have a scarcity mindset that no matter what I do, it will never be enough. And most people, unfortunately, they have that.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe because generation after generation, even our ancestors, they went through the famine uh, cycles, they call it. So they have and they starve, they have, they starve, and so this is a cycle that our ancestors experience, and unfortunately, genetically, it can be passed to us.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what are some of the hidden patterns that keep us stuck in survival mode?
I will list it because I have a specific level for patterns. The first one is worthiness. The worthiness pattern is I must earn love or value. This is the main one that I see with entrepreneurs. And it is over, this is how it shows: overworking, perfectionism, people pleasing is a major one,
Mm,
burned
hmm.
out, or undercharging. The second
Ah,
pattern, yes, the second pattern is the safety pattern. Expansion is unsafe. So you fear visibility.
mm,
You don't make decisions. There are some, you avoid looking at your finances. You delay, you constantly delay. And I will quickly go to, so these are the first two, the worthiness
sure.
pattern and safety patterns. Then we have, let me find it, have the exact one. There is another one that is control. So there are people that they want to control. If I'm not in control, my business will not succeed. This is another one. The scarcity is like the one that I mentioned. I will never have enough.
Mm-hmm.
There is fear of visibility, we mentioned before. This is
Yeah.
also highly charged. Um, Overthinking is one of them, and constantly feeling behind. Or I also have some clients that they feel like they're running out of time. I don't have enough time. Or they sabotage their success because, or their opportunities because they feel unsafe. So
Mm-hmm.
many different patterns, but these are the main one that I mentioned, like
Yeah.
my words.
And and so you're working then, people are hiring you and you're working with these women to help them break these patterns? And
Yes,
I guess, and do they know they're in any of these patterns when they come to you or
no, no,
no?
you don't know, because here's the thing. The mind runs on automatic. The nervous system runs on automatic. And I mean, if you become extremely aware of your thoughts and yourself and your decision, yes, you can see the patterns that you're running. Usually it takes a mentor or an outside person to see how you operate. You see, even for ourselves, we don't know sometimes when we do, but other people can read with ease what we do. So I bring
Yeah.
awareness. I'm like, this is the pattern that you're running, and it's a very specific pattern because I have seen it through the clients. So if you are undercharging or feeling burned out, you basically have the worthiness pattern. Now, the interesting thing is that the patterns show up in every area, not only in regards to business, to the business or money. It also shows in the relationship. If you're constantly
Ah,
asking for validation from your partner, you are in the worthiness. I'm not worthy enough. You are not in the, if you're not in leadership in your own house or in leadership with your own body, you are not going to be also in in relationship to the business or money. So the patterns go across these three main areas, which as human, these are the main three when it comes to money, health, and love and relationships. So once you have a pattern, it actually goes across these three. And so when you become aware, you see that because the way we do one thing, that's the way we do everything.
interesting.
So this is across these three aspects: the relationship, the health, and also the money. Once you become aware, then you have the choice to change. And this is through constant behavior and constant and also small behavior change. You cannot change just drastically 180-degree right away. Your nervous
No.
system will be in shock, right? So you become aware of the pattern, then you take constant and aware action, and you see the behavior.
Wow. Well, how does self-worth affect what women charge, earn, spend, and allow themselves to have? How does that all connect?
It is quite connected because So our nervous system, the job of our nervous system is to protect us, to
Right.
feel us, to make us feel safe. And it's not necessarily for growth. So we need a certain type of pattern to go toward growth. Now, I have seen women that they earn quite a bit of money, but there is a law. Actually, it's called, I believe, Parkinson law. So the more you make, the more you spend. So I have
That's true.
I have
Yes.
women that um, I call them high income but broke. So
Hmm.
that means that even if you make 500,000 a year, but you have a $700,000 debt, you're as broke as someone that makes $20,000 a year.
Absolutely.
You are five or six figures entrepreneur, um, you still operate under the same pattern as if you are not going to have enough money. Um, so the reason why, and this law is specific law, the more you make, the more you spend. And this is a constant validation or a constant need. So I make more, now I deserve to have more. And of course, it's our innate nature to grow. Like if you're not growing, you're dying. I always say that.
Right.
Not expanding, you are dying. However, if you do that to fulfill a void inside you, you are not going to be abundant. And when I talk about money, Julia, I don't necessarily talk about richness. Now, that is a different, the fame and richness. We're not talking about that. We're talking
Right.
simply abundant, and abundance and wealth is a slow game. Like you create the money,
Hmm.
you invest, and you also have a certain lifestyle. If you So most of the people are stuck into this cycle, make spend. It's a very close loop, and unless
Yes.
you go into make, of course, spend and lifestyle, but also invest, you are not going to come out of cycle.
Ah, interesting.
So becoming aware is the
Mm.
step, and then you check how do you do, like, um till late I would do this, and I also see it in the clients, because when we work with clients, they are a version of us younger. So let's say if I bought something, I would lower the price. Why would I do that? I would lower the price, make it like, oh, I bought it cheaper. This is an indicator that there is something off between your internal and your external. Okay. Yes.
Yep.
So, oh, this is not real. Like I had a client that said last time that I saw in person, and she said, I said, oh, this is a beautiful ring. Oh, this is not real. It's fake. Why would you jump to say that? Like, what if it's diamond? Are you afraid of me judging you because you have a diamond $20,000 in your hand? So we do lots of these. These are called
Oh.
micro micro patterns that I notice a lot. Or people, even they might not have much money, they still are wanting the Gucci bag. Again, I have absolutely nothing against the brand names, or I
Oh no, for sure.
love certain things.
Yeah.
I love for my daughters. I have three daughters. I love for them to have the beautiful things in them. But if you are constantly in debt and you buy all this, you're affirming and you're looking for an
Yeah.
outside gadget
Yeah.
prove your worth.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'd love for you to just expand a little bit if you could, because when you were talking, I just thinking of all these people, women that I know. And I think what you said about, the diamond ring, oh, well, oh, it's fake. Or, you'll say to someone, oh, that's a lovely dress. And they're like, oh, well, I got that, da 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 da. But rather than just accepting the compliment. So what is it in us that does that? Is that a sign of that we don't think we're worthy? or is it judgment, or what exactly is it?
It's a combination of all. Basically goes under in my framework, under the scarcity mindset, that because we were born, or the society perceive us as overgiver, over sacrificing, not having enough, not being visible under. So once you start shining, you're afraid and be of the judgment that will come from outside. That is the reason most of the women do that. Or if you want to go on the other side, that you want to prove your worth, but you're buying all these fancy things because they are both are drivers, then you do it to prove your worth also. So why do we do that again?
Yes.
And why all this pattern? Because it is a scarcity. I believe that we are born into scarcity. I have seen very rarely woman or client that they come from a very healthy dynamic when it comes to money growing up. Except if you are born into money, then you do not see a huge contrast. But if you're not born into money and you're trying to make your way, then you are under this scarcity mindset
Mm-hmm.
that is created from three factors. The first one is societal, the way you grew up, the schools, society. The second one is modeling. You model one of the parents. I mentioned that even in other podcasts, and I had someone says, but I'm nothing like my parents, like my mom. And I'm like, if you see the behavior, the way you behave around, I'm sure you'll find. And she come back and she said, I think you're right. I
Mm-hmm.
actually deal the same way she dealt with used clothes. You know, that I don't want to give them away. I will pass it on to, even if they are ripped, I will pass it to other children and so on. So I'm exactly like her. Even though you resist sometimes the parents,
Yes.
are. So the second one is modeling. And then the third one is if you have a highly charged emotional experience, let's say if you had divorce or alcohol, a parent that was not present growing up. So I grew up without my mother. So for a while, we were deported during the communism. So um, my constant um, need for security was obvious, even though I was like schooling, education, got a very good job. I needed constant approval for my work. And so coming from back home here, I carry those patterns with me. No matter you go, no matter where you go, even if you go to the moon, if you have that scarcity mindset and you carry that with you wherever you go. So that is the reason that once you become aware, and then you start changing, then your identity also change around that. So
Mm.
very, very common. If
Yeah. Yeah.
talking about the micro things, and it's not only about the diamond and that we do. When we lower our prices, why do we do that? Even though I am very capable, in the beginning, I would lower my prices. Why would I do that? Because I need the approval. I'm not sure of my gift, so I lower the
Mm.
prices. Why would I do that? Right?
For validation.
Exactly, that for validation or fear that the client will go. But why would I be feared if I am aware of my gift and I know what I bring to this world?
And
Right?
that comes into fear of judgment.
That's right.
Interesting.
And this is again tied to the worthiness pattern. The first one,
Yes.
if you're a people pleaser or if you are overworking and undercharging, it is very typical. You are looking for, I must earn love, I must earn my value. What I am is not enough. That is the bottom driver.
Wow.
And
And
it,
so so a woman comes to you
Mhm.
and you discover what her pattern driver is. So how then are you helping people to overcome
Okay,
these
so I have an
inner
8-week program, so it doesn't happen overnight. And first
Mhm.
of all, when I have this gift, I have to tell you, Julie, it is maybe from 25 years now working with accounting, seeing different people from different background, like unsuccessful to successful, how they behave, how they speak, how they talk. So 70% of my unsuccessful clients, when they sit down, it is blaming. They blaming the partners, they blaming the family, they
Mm.
blaming other people, they blaming the government. it is constantly blaming and resentment.
Mm.
The successful people, all they talk is about the good experiences, an ice cream that they had in Napoli, um, their investment, like big ideas. So you can see right away that there is a huge difference in behavior
Yes.
and the mindset. So I also have this frame, it's called MRI of money, which is the mindset, relationship that you have with money, and also the intelligence behind it. So the mindset that we have with money, how do you behave around money, the relationship that you have, like before I had the relationship with money is a very bad love affair. I would do it, I would spend it, I would do it, I never had enough. And so you correct that, and then the intelligence of money. You have to know basic how much you make, what is your credit score. Most of people have no idea. I ask how much do you make? They just give me the slip. Do you know how much you're worth it? They have no
Hmm.
idea. So I don't go when I mentor. So I have my accounting business, but when I mentor, I do not ask for your financial statement. I know exactly the level that you are with 99% accuracy only by the way you talk and by the way you you word a problem that you're going. So if I ask you, where are you stuck in the business? Tell me right now, where are you stuck in the business? And we're not going to go into mentoring or coaching, but I'm just saying, do you feel stuck or any of the patterns that I mentioned?
For myself,
Yeah.
um, yes, I am. Yes, I am stuck in. I'm just trying to. I'm stuck in which direction to go because I mentor women in writing their personal stories, and so I'm stuck in whether to move to more a business
Mhm.
orientated women who are wanting to bring their business stories into their business rather than staying with the women that are needing their stories for more of a healing.
Okay. So the pattern that come across, and just this is only superficial, like you have
Sure. Yes.
like it translate into a confusion.
Yes.
So you are confused about a decision and you're not clear about the decision because you also feel responsible of the outcome. I'll take this woman, I don't know the outcome. I'll take this woman. So these are all tied. However, and thank you for sharing and being authentic in this. And what we do is in my 8 week program is first of all, whatever business you are you aligned with your soul purpose or your values? So you are an excellent speaker. Let's say your podcast suits you very well. I can see that you have high chance of being successful just by the way I look at things right now. There are women that come, let's say she's like, I'm in real estate, but all she want to talk and do, and there is a procedure to discover if they are aligned with their business or not,
Yeah.
is about dogs. She loves dogs. And so there is not a connection with, we're not talking simply about hobbies, but there is a disconnection. She's not interested in real estate. She's stuck because her soul want her to open another business. So we also do that in our 8 week program. So we discover the pattern. And then the only way, so here's the thing that you would appreciate me talking about that. The only way to change the pattern, that's what you're interested in right now. That's what
Yes.
in this question. You're like, okay, you know the patterns. How do I change it? Your body changed, your body shifted. You're so curious now because the conversation brought you in. So the only way to change a pattern is by changing the identity. There is no, it might be other ways metaphysically that I'm not aware, but I have
Right.
studied this woman. And if you change the identity, if you operate from the old identity where you are not intentional at all, you just do what you do because maybe you like to do it or because your parents choose a school and so on, sorry. First you change the identity. So it's a process from top down. There are modalities like nervous system regulation works wonderfully. It works from down up. So you feel safe first and then you work your way up. For me, I believe that the biggest breakthrough woman can have is through changing the identity. Who are you in the business?
Mm.
Are you
Interesting.
just trying to do every single thing yourself because you want to save money? You want to do also the secretary, also to clean your house 24/7, and you pay a little bit attention to your business? No, unless you find your identity in relationship to work, it is very challenging to change the behavior when it comes to the business, but also for other other aspects like relationship and so on. You have to find what drives you as a person. So once
Hmm.
you start changing the identity, then it's easier to, because the version 2.0, I call it, the version 2.0, Julie, will not tolerate spending 5 6 hours in something that does not resonate with her. I actually had a client yesterday and she absolutely hates taxes and she wants to do it herself. I
Oh,
am mentoring her. I'm not taking any more accounting clients because I'm fully
yes.
booked. But think about it. Why would you spend 5 hours doing taxes if that is not in your soul resonance? We call it high priority values. If this is not in your high priority value, why would you spend 5 hours? 5 hours, she charged $200 per hour, which is $1,000. You give it to accountant, you would pay 300 or 400, whatever.
Yes.
You spend 5 hours of your time doing something that does not resonate with your soul at all.
And so why do we do that?
We are conditioned.
We're conditioned, yeah.
We are conditioned, and the other thing is that we are conditioned to do. You are in a specific environment or in a specific time in your timeline, and you're just operating it, and you're doing exactly the same thing that you've been doing for years. And if you notice, it's the same pattern when you grew up, even now, maybe slightly different now because
Hmm.
lots of things have changed, but it's the
Yeah.
same internal driver. So we are conditioned. Our job is to be aware of the conditioning and to come out of that, the awareness. Then you can grow. So
Hmm.
if you take a course, sorry, let me drink some
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
If you take a course, you read books, you take education, your income will change up to 25%. I guarantee you that.
Okay.
If you want a more drastic change, you have to work with someone and go to the root, someone to say, well, this is the problem, and they act as mirror. Mentors or coaches act as mirror. This is the problem. Do you have the guts to change whatever you are experiencing? And then you change the bigger awareness, and then you change your identity, the relationship change, people respect you more, and so on. So we are conditioned. As I said, this was formed not only from the societal, it was also programming from your parents. It's a major programming from our parents, and also from the highly impact emotional experience. I can see for myself, whatever my mom did with her family, I did the same thing. She, even if we were not super wealthy, all the money she would help her own family because they were had less. I did the same thing when I came in Canada, and I'm being completely honest and vulnerable. I did the same thing every month, and my husband, both of us, we take the money and help our family home. There's absolutely nothing wrong with helping the family, but
No, of course.
we did it because we are conditioned. We are
Mm.
conditioned since we were born. And so we are conditioned. The only way to uncondition yourself is to bring awareness where you are, and also to see where would you like to go. Do you have a goal? Most of the people, they don't even have a goal. What is your goal in 5 10 years? They have no
Hmm.
idea. They just live day by day. And so I have noticed the people that live day by day are under scarcity mindset. If someone comes and says, my goal in 5 years, my goal in 10 years, I'm like, you got it. I can help you right there because you know where you're going. You want to change your identity. But if you live only for now, you take the money and you spend and you do all this and you don't see something in the future or a goal, you are under scarcity mindset.
Mm. Your work is so interesting. It is just so interesting. And as you're talking, I'm thinking of myself and many other people that I know. And um, yeah, we have a bunch of problems. You know what I mean.
Here's what I'm going
Yeah.
to say, Julie. I feel actually like unicorn in my field right now because I blend uh, the reality, the practical side with emotional side and also energetic. I've done quite a bit of energetic work on myself. And saying we have lots of problems, yes, it sounds like, oh my gosh, but how am I going to do it? I have lots of problems. The first step that I recommend to everyone is that the first thing is being aware of shame and guilt. If you
Oh,
are aware of these
yes.
two, shame, guilt, and judgment, actually, they are
Yeah.
a trio, then you be gentle with yourself. Like wherever you are in your journey, be gentle and slow down. If you slow down inside you, you'd see clearly and you can ask the question, is it mine or I was conditioned? If it's yours, deal with that. If it's conditioned, it takes a little bit longer because we have quite a bit of loyalty with our tribe. You cannot betray your family, you know?
Mhm.
And so that takes a little bit longer. And it's easier if people move. I noticed that for myself. I had the massive growth when I moved here. It would have been challenging, more challenging if I was back home because I'm loyal to certain things. I'm loyal to misery and the more poor you are, the more noble you are. So I grew up like that, and I'm
Mhm.
sure most of people grew up. So when you move away from the tribe, so to speak, then you can see yourself better. And then when you start a business, I say that in chicken tongue, that when you start a business, you're kind of naked in front of the universe because you see your shadow drivers. You see that you are afraid of visibility. You undercharge. Why is this not working? Why am I trying so hard and I don't see the money in my bank account? You basically then you are called to strip yourself from all these patterns that they are not even yours most of the time, but that you have
Yeah.
created. So
Yeah.
it's
That generational stuff can really get in the way.
of course.
Yeah. Wow. So, so interesting and just so absolutely so insightful. So, what do you think for other than what kind of a tip can you give to women that they should stop doing immediately with regards to money?
I will repeat that. First would be the to drop the shame, guilt, and judgment for whatever, wherever you are in your business. Secondly, would be to slow down. As I said, very slow down internally and constantly ask questions. Because here's the thing: the mind is data. Mind operate on data. The ego, the mind operate on data that you have accumulated. The mind does not have the answers. Only the conscious have the answers. When you ask yourself, the conscious come forward. But if you just rely only on the mind has like a mental diarrhea, goes on. You
Yes,
cannot
it does.
you cannot stop it. When you
Yeah.
become aware and you create space between your thoughts and yourself, then magic can happen. When you ask questions, even journaling, that's why I notice my dog is here. Even when you ask questions yourself or journal is a powerful tool actually that
Yes.
can say, why do I do that? Do I do that for myself? The bottom, uh, every question that you have, at least that's what I have explored, it would come down to worthiness and love. You feel
Mhm.
worthy enough, you feel loved enough. These are the main. Then there are other things. There are people that they do certain things for control and power. We're not talking about that today. We might talk about that another time. But these are the main currents, so to speak. And the last
Mhm.
one that I would recommend women is that be compassionate. Be compassionate with
Mm.
yourself. Be graceful. Start a gratitude for wherever you are in your journey. Wake up and having this gratitude not for what other people do for you or something beautiful happen to you, but be grateful for this body, the breath. I always thank my heart. I'm like, oh, it never skipped a bit. My goodness, this is amazing. That's how I.
No,
So the
it's so what you're saying is so true. I believe gratitude can change everything. Yeah,
yeah,
it just is such a big shift for us,
I
for sure.
I tell
Yeah.
kids this is the quickest biohack. They call me the gratitude guru, my girls, and so it's the quickest biohack. So be grateful for wherever you are in your journey, even might have been not so nice journey. I promise you that um, living right now, actually, in this world, is a privilege. Not too many people have it. Someone might not wake up tomorrow, so it's a
No.
privilege to live in this world.
Yes.
So be
Yes.
grateful for wherever you are, and be curious and explore. Why do you do what you do in every area, not simply when it comes to money, in
Yeah.
relationship with your health? Why do you eat that cake even though you know very well that doesn't serve you? What is the relationship that you have with your body? What is the relationship
Yeah.
that you have with your money? What is the relationship that you have with your career? Just simple questions,
Yeah.
and bring awareness to that. So this is
Yeah.
the first thing that you can do. Just find the why. I
Yes.
also have a process in my program, and I annoy my clients. I say, be patient. So I do. I just ask why. After every single thing, I say why until we come to the bottom of it. It's called why behind the why, and
Yes.
you come to the bottom of it, and the bottom of it, and most of people by the end of the why. And I don't want to spoil it here in case someone wants to work with me. They know now what
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yes.
on the third why, then they most of them they are in tears, and like, it's about the worth. I'm not
Yeah.
worthy. I don't feel
Yeah.
pretty. I don't feel good
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm not loved enough. You don't know what I went through. I'm like, I know what I went through, like, with my parents, or growing up without a mother, and so on. So
Mhm.
to wrap it up,
Yes.
the fear, judgment, and shame. The second
Yes.
one is be aware of your pattern as much as you can. Work with someone, or just write it down
Yeah.
and slow down inside. Just slow down and observe the thoughts. And the third one, have immense compassion and gratitude for you. I am sure, I'm 100% positive that each and every one of us has a gift inside. And this world would not be good if you do not share that gift.
Oh, I agree so much. I agree so much. Absolutely. Yeah. We there's there's healing, there's just so much when you give the gifts that you've been given. And we all have them. Sometimes people think, "Oh no." Like I've helped hundreds of women write their stories, and there'll be many times where they'll say, "Oh, well, no, my story, you know." But no, that's not true. There's
Mm,
someone out there who needs to hear the
absolutely.
story. Even if you're not doing it for yourself, you can do it for someone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love what, as you were talking, I'm thinking, the relationship, because this is about money, but and finances and helping, but really it's about helping people to become whole.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not just that one
No,
thing.
it's not that one. And that's why,
No.
say, when people, like, yes, from my background in accounting, yes, I look into money strategy and all that, but it is deeper than that.
Yes.
Abundance
It's
is deeper than that. It's
yeah, for
about the
sure.
mindset, it's about the emotional body, your mental body, your physical body. So it's a whole process. And
Yeah.
I invite every single one that will hear this podcast to reach out, have a 15, 20 minutes complimentary check-in if we are a match, or to see where they are in the journey, or simply have a conversation, a different conversation.
Yeah.
And I want to congratulate you for your journey, and thank you for having this podcast and bringing awareness to women and their stories.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Alma. And I want you all to know that we are going to have ways to reach out to Alma in the show notes. So do not hesitate. And if she's offering a complimentary chat with her, just from the time that we've spent together here, and if you've watched this entire interview, you're going to get some value out of that. Even 20 minutes, you're 15, 20 minutes, you're going to get some value out of that. So don't be afraid to do that. Well, Alma, thank you again for doing this. I appreciate it so much. I learned so much from all of my guests, and I've had a few little ahas in my brain. So I appreciate you giving me those. We all need them from time to time, or we're sleepwalking into worlds. So yes. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for being here for this episode of Women Like Me Stories in Business. And we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.